everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Andrea. Today I'm doing a get ready with me with some new items that I got at Target the other day. Just did a little mini haul because PMS and Target is a bad mix. So I only got 4 things, so we'll just go through them as I get to them. First, I'm going to do my usual, my e.l.f. Perfect HD Finish Powder. I always use this before my primer. You can see I've got a nice amount of pan in it, so. And I'm using my Becca backlight priming filter. It's hard to see because of the lighting situation, but I only have like this much left. So I'm really, trying to get this finished because it would be nice to have one less primer. The first thing I actually bought was the set of EcoTools brushes. They are like the softest things I've ever felt. They're extremely densely packed. So you have, this is the Ultimate Buff for foundations. This is the Ultimate Pop for cream contour. And I'm gonna try it with a cream stick blush too, just to see how it works with that. And then the Ultimate Cover, which is the little concealer brush. So first, now I know, oh my gosh, my desk is such a mess. I usually do concealer first, but I got a new concealer, so I'm going to go ahead and do my foundation first. I'm using my Oma Beauty Say What foundation. I'm in the shade Fair Lady TC3. This foundation is pretty thin. Well, I think it's gotten a little thicker as it's been open, because when I first got it, it was really liquidy, but this doesn't look like a lot, but trust me when I say one pump is enough, at least for me, to get the kind of coverage that I prefer. I don't like a super full coverage foundation, and I find that just the one pump gives me just, oops, that's a lot on my nose, gives me enough cover while still hiding my problem areas. So I'm gonna start with this Ultimate Buff brush, and it seriously, it feels like running velvet over your face. That's how like soft and dense it is. But I've been liking it because you don't really have to blend in the normal sense. Like if I was going to use, say, my e.l.f. buffing brush, I would go in circular motions with this. But just the way that it's cut and how dense it is, I don't feel like I need to do that. I can just kind of drag it across my skin, and it gives the coverage without looking streaky. So I will say though, the one area that I seem to have problems with this brush is my nose. It doesn't, and part of it might just be I'm putting too much on my nose in general, but I feel like the tip of my nose, it doesn't really ever blend in super well. But like I said, I think that's more user error than anything with the brush. But it just looks very even. There's not brush strokes, which a lot of times when I'm using brushes, I feel like I'm spending so much time trying to buff the brush strokes out. But this is so thick that it doesn't need that. So the concealer I ended up purchasing was the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I have the regular 16-hour camo concealer. This is okay, but this shade, Light Peach, Let's just say that it looked much darker on the Ulta website when I bought this, because this is way too light for me. Like even in the winter, I think this would be too light for me. So I got the shade Light Sand when I was at Target, and just to give you a comparison, oops, that was way too much concealer, but I'll just mix them. But this is the light peach, and this is the, whoops, light sand, as I stick my finger in it. But that's fine, we'll just put it on my face. And this is a very thick concealer. I mean, I believe it's supposed to be comparable to the Tarte Shape Tape, so I'll just do that because that brush, between the brush and the foundation, my skin is looking pretty good. So then I'm going to take this Ultimate Cover brush, and yeah, this shade is much better for me than that light peach. It's hard because in the winter, I feel like my skin definitely does have a pinker tone, but then in the summertime, I feel like I need more yellow or golden tones because I tan. So that's the coverage for that. I think it looks good. It's kind of hard to tell around my under eyes because they're my eyes are kind of deep set. So I have like those lines that concealer's not gonna cover because it's just where my eye bones are. I'm not gonna set my whole face because since we're doing cream products pretty much today, I don't want to mess up my foundation. But I am going to set my under eye with this setting powder from Makeup Revolution that I have been working on for what feels like ever, but because I only use it under my eyes, it doesn't get used very fast. Although I do have to repress it because it's getting hard to use with my brush. And now comes, I have like everything set out on my desk, and my desk is just a big old mess, so I can't really find anything. So for cream, I'm doing cream, bronzer, highlighter, and blush. So for the bronzer and highlighter, I have my Oma Beauty Double Take Sculpt Stick. And for my blush, I have this ColourPop blush sticks. So I'm gonna start, actually, you know what? I'm gonna start with my blush because I want to try this Ultimate Pot brush with the blush as well as the bronzer, and I think it would just be better to start with the blush. And then I have this like JCat Beauty brush cleaner that I'll clean the brush off in before I do the bronzer. That's the plan. That's what we're gonna try. So I have not used this in a while. It's a pretty color. Oh, and by the way, this is in the shade Mini Me. So I think it applied the blush fairly well. I'm gonna clean it off now. And now we're gonna use my bronzer. Now this is the part I have to be careful because you only need a little bit. I've been using too much of this when I do use it. Right on the tip of my nose. So this is the second time that I filmed this video. Actually, I did film it the day that I got all this stuff, but I was filming it like after dinner, so I had to be using my ring light and the overhead light because the natural lighting was not very good. And basically the entire video was me complaining about the lighting, and then it got cut off early because my husband needed help with the kids. So that whole video got scrapped, and I decided I would just do this, you know, during the day when I have better light and when the kids aren't home and I can do it properly. Oh, don't want to forget. Okay, hopefully you can see how nicely that blended that contour out. And I'm just going to use my finger for the highlighter portion. I'm not gonna. Oh, I like this stick. I do. I wish the highlighter was a little more. I was trying to make a popping noise with my mouth. That didn't work, apparently. I just wish this highlighter was a little more. I wish it wasn't so subtle. Let's put it that way. I'm just gonna do my brows real quick before I set my face. Nothing much has changed, just using this shade Charmed I'm Sure from Sweet Peach. That totally missed my face. This isn't new, but I did finish my NYX Total Control Brow Gel, so I had this e.l.f. clear lash brow and mascara, and this is what I hate about using powder in my brows, because you put the clear gel on top of it and then it just turns into a disgusting cloudy brown mess. But I don't know what else to do about that, because I need an eyebrow gel or I need a clear gel to keep my brows from going all over the place, and I do not like tinted brow gels. So I mean, it works fine. It just looks kind of gross. That aside, now onto the eyeshadow palette. Well, actually, the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, you may remember that was in my fantasy cart. Well, this is also something that was in my fantasy cart video. I did end up picking up the NYX Ultimate Eyeshadow Palette in Utopia. This is the 16 pan, and it's just super pretty. These 2 rows here plus this shade is basically why I got the palette. These are all fairly normal, you know, mid-tone warm shades, but I mean, honestly, it's really this green, but that's fine. I did a look in the video that will never see the light of day, and I did take a photo of that look, so I'll put that up because I want to do something different today since I've already used some of these colors, namely, okay, I shut this and now I can't open it again. What the heck? Okay, so in the look that I just put up, I used this to set these 2 colors, in this in my transition, this in my crease, this in the outer corner, and then these 2 shimmer metallics on the lid. So before I dig into this though, I am going to use my Sweet Peach palette in the shade White Peach, just, stay up, just to set like my brow bone. I don't know if you're gonna see how deep that dip is. I've been thinking that I'm gonna hit pan on this like every single day, and then I don't hit pan. So we're gonna continue trying to hit pan with that. And I don't even use this to set my whole lid. I just do my under eye. Still nothing. Okie dokie. Now, what are we gonna do here? First, I'm gonna take this e.l.f. XJ Kissa brush. I got this brush set with my last Ulta order, and it is really nice. Some of e.l.f.'s eyeshadow brushes leave something to be desired, but this set is really nice. So I think I'm going to start by dipping in to this kind of sage green and popping that in the crease / transition area. And now I think I'm going to take like this really dark purple and I'm going to do that on my outer V. It is so warm in my office. Like I can feel sweat rolling down my back. It's pretty disgusting. Now the hardest part of me doing my eyeshadow is getting my eye shape to match both eyes. That's close enough. That's probably as good as it's gonna get. So before I lay that chartreuse down, I'm gonna use my NYX glitter glue. I don't know. Too chartreuse or not too chartreuse? That is the question. But I feel like this shade would go much better. Ooh, I almost dropped it. Much better with my color story that I've got going on right now. So I think I'm going to use that one instead because I do have to work today. And even though it's over Zoom, I still, and you know, my laptop is, well, 4 years old, so the camera isn't the greatest, but I also don't really want to look like the Joker. So I'm gonna do this one. I think it'll match better. I think I made the right choice. Okay, I'm very pleased with how that turned out. And since I've already used a shade I used once before, I'm gonna go ahead in with this spring green color as my inner corner highlight. My eyes are so deep set, it's kind of hard to capture the color on the inner corners, but it looks good. So now I have to decide what I'm gonna do for my lower lash line. I think I'm just gonna take a little more of that purple for the lower lash line. And this is another of the e.l.f. J Kissa brushes. This is just like the liner brush. And just do a really thin liner with the purple shadow. Now it's time for liner. I am going to use my Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Highlight for the inner rim, and I have just like a kind of a black liner from Julep, and then I'm going to use my NYX Epic Ink, and then the last thing that I picked up in this mini haul is a new mascara, so I'll do my mascara on camera, but I'll be back in a minute with everything but my mascara done. Okay, liner is done. So the last thing I picked up is this CoverGirl Full Lash Bloom waterproof mascara, because right now I'm using the Clump Crusher water resistant on my lower lashes, but it's drying up and I needed a new one. So I figured I'll just try this one, but I'm just going to use it on top and bottom today. The bristle, or the brush, I don't know why, for me at least, I don't know why, but for me at least, it's much easier for me to use on my lower lashes than this Clump Crusher, which, as you can see, is curved, and I don't know why. I always feel like I have a little bit of trouble using this because of the brush, and I used this the other day when I first bought it, and I felt like I had an easier time with it. So we're just gonna do top and bottom today. Usually I use my Essence Lash Princess on top, but I don't feel like it today. And you can all see the insane amount of time that it takes me to do my mascara, which is why I do it off camera, because it's literally whenever I film Get Ready With Me's and I cut out all my liner and mascara, it's like 6-7 minutes of footage every single time. I don't know why it takes me so long to do, but it does. Trying not to make like super dumb faces while I do this either. It's harder than it looks. Oh my gosh, I am having such a time right now, let me tell you. Oh, I guess while I'm doing this forever, I'll just tell you a little story. So there was this little kitten that was coming in our yard, and I know I've mentioned it before, but I'm a cat lady. We have 3 cats, and I love cats, so sue me. So there was this kitten that I was seeing come into our yard, probably, I would say maybe 4 or 5 months old, like definitely a kitten, but not a newborn kitten, you know what I mean? So of course, like my heart starts breaking and I want to help this little kitten. So I had my husband buy some cat food, some dry cat food, and I would put the cat food out every night along with some water on our back patio. And I'm saying he, I don't know if it was a boy cat or a girl cat, but I felt like it was a he, and I named him Charlie Brown. And I'll put up pictures because of course I have a lot of pictures of this random stray cat on my phone. So he was coming every night pretty regularly, and then I stopped seeing him, but every day the cat bowl would be empty and the food would be gone. So I figured, okay, well, it's just really hot and humid. He's just coming later because it's so hot. Well, so a couple days ago, I came out of my office and I went into the kitchen to get something, and I looked out the back door, and this is what I saw. A giant ass possum has been eating all the cat food, and I think the possum has scared away my little friend because I have not seen him again, and it makes me super sad. Probably my husband probably is kind of happy because, let's be honest, if I had caught that kitten, we were gonna have 4 cats. So I need to decide what I'm gonna do for lip color. Since I feel like everything I've been using in this video has been NYX, I'm going to use this Glitter Goals Liquid Lipstick in Cherry Quartz. This is in my monochromatic project pan. And it is very shiny and hot pink. Like I got it because I thought it was going to be red, but it's really more like a hot pink with like blue-ish fuchsia-y sparkles. Like it's a very cool pink, but I think it goes well with the like bluey green and the purple. So why is it just me? Does anybody else feel like they just totally suck at putting on lipstick? I feel like, and it's not like I have super thin lips, so it shouldn't be this hard for me, but apparently I have a hard time staying inside the lines. So this is the finished look. I'm going to, well, I'll just keep the little kitty headbands on. I think it adds a certain something to it. So these aren't first impressions because I have used all this stuff at least once. But I think out of everything that I bought, I actually like these brushes the most. I think they're very soft, very dense. They blend out really nicely, and you don't have to work so hard with them. Like with some other brushes, like I was mentioning when I was applying, it's not something you've really got to like sit there and buff and buff and buff. You just kind of, it works better when you use the swiping motions like this, and it leaves things looking really nice and even. I don't have brush strokes all over my face. So these were definitely, these are definitely a keeper. The concealer, I do like it. I think I like the formula a little more than the matte one. I've only used it a couple times, so I'm not like totally 100% sure how I feel about it. I think a lot of the reason that I like this is because it is a good shade match for me as opposed to this one. I mean, you can see how different these look. So as far as wear, the other day when I was wearing this, I did notice some creasing, but it was also extremely humid. We were outside, like walking around. So I don't know in a little bit less extreme conditions how it performs. I'm going to be staying inside most of the day today because it is another like really hot, humid day. So just in like a normal environment, I'll see how it looks at the end of the day. This eyeshadow palette, I really enjoy so far. I've only done the 2 looks with it, but they both turn out really nicely. It seems to be a good formula. I think in general, like the NYX shadows that come in this kind of formula are better than some of the other ones. I know I had the Avant Pop, and I've had a couple of other smaller palettes that were just, they were older and the formula was really dry and kind of patchy, but this feels much nicer, much easier to blend. The shimmers are really nice. So I am definitely glad that I picked this up. And then finally, the mascara is smudging because I don't know how to put on mascara. It's a mascara. I mean, I didn't notice it really smudging too much when I wore it the last couple times. The only thing, like, I wish, I don't know if you can see, like, actually see my lashes. Can you see? Like straight on, it's hard to tell just because of my liner, but they do seem to be, they don't really seem very clumpy, which is nice. And it does, I will say though, just from having opened it the other day and between that time and this time, it does seem like it dried out a little bit from being freshly opened. So I don't know, I'm gonna have to play with that a little more, but like I said, it's mostly, I bought it for my lower lashes. I have some other non-waterproof ones that I can use on my upper lashes. So I'm not too worried actually about how it's not making my upper lashes stand out so much because I'm not really going to use it for that. But this is the finished look from all of my PMS fueled Target purchases. I'm extremely happy with everything I picked up, so no regrets, yay! I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you're staying safe and healthy, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!